Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Kim here, and today this is my video of just kind of a flip through of a journal that I'm going to be using for a upcoming class in my local town of Sussex. I will be teaching this at the Dairytown Market. There'll be two classes, one during the day, one in the evening. So it's a very basic journal. Made from a combination of repurposed materials as well as a little bit of new material. It's called a junk journal, and because a lot of the stuff that I'm using is recycled stuff. I don't want to say junk because one man's junk is another man's treasure. So this book was created using I think it was a cracker box. It might have been a graham wafer box. I forget because I do so many of them. It is not a standard size. It's approximately 7.5 inches by about 6 inches. So a lot of the pages had to be cut down in height in order to make this. It is a little over 2.5 inches wide in the spine, and it has 3 signatures in there. On the outside, I've decorated with a fabric base, and then I've added some trims and ribbons and a net overlay, like a sheer overlay. There is a braided trim up here with lots of dangly tassels. There is just a piece of sari ribbon that I've wrapped around to hold it closed. And I'll just take that off. And this allows it allows for expansion, and then you can retie it as the book gets a little bit bigger. On the front, I've also decorated with a little gold dangle. This came off of a belt, and then this little piece here was a dangle from an earring. On the back spine, I've added a little tassel just for decoration, and if it's annoying, it can come off with, it's just pinned on with a bulb pin. I don't have any dangles on the bottom this time, but I do have dangles that are coming out from within the book, and these are all different charms that are attached to the cords that were used to stitch the signatures in. In the front here, you do see some fibers. These are attached to paper clips in the journal just to give it a little bit more decoration and a little bit more interest. And so this is that sheer fabric here that I've added on. And it's wrapped right around the book as well as all the other trims. So on the inside, I do have the 3 signatures. I have one pocket here in the front. Now I've added some ephemera into the book. I haven't finished adding ephemera only because when I'm teaching this for a class, I want to be able to show different things and talk about different possibilities. So in this first pocket, I do have a postcard. It's not a used one, but it is a vintage one. Pocket is made just a piece of the same fabric that I used for the cover. The inside spine has a piece of fabric to just further enhance the look of the journal, and as well give a little extra strength to the spine for holding the signatures. Now, usually when I do a journal that is for sale, I add in the artist information into the front pocket as well, so that the person knows a little bit about my style of journal that I'm making, as well as different materials and why my purpose and mission of doing what I do. So it's made up of a combination of new and used papers and book pages. In this case here, I've taken apart an atlas page out of an old atlas book. I've created a pocket here to fit a tag into. The tag is made from recycled materials with some vintage materials over top and a napkin over top, and some ephemera that I printed digitally and stitched around the edges. Now, when I'm teaching the class, I will teach both methods of where they can stitch the cards if they have a sewing machine at home, but if they don't, they'll be taught a glue method. I just have the pocket right now closed with a paper clip, and when you flip it over, I have a journaling card here on the other side of the map, and there's the other side of the map page. Now when we make signatures, we make our pages twice the width and fold them in half so that you have the same page on both sides. But it doesn't necessarily mean they'll be the same on both sides. I could glue something else to the other side, but it's just that the signatures are made with a folded page. This next one here is a piece of a small ledger sheet, again used for journaling and writing as a writing space. This next page here is blank. I used a piece of the map to fold over the page with the possibility of turning this into a little notebook after when I'm teaching the class. There's a little tab here made out of paper, and I've just added a little bit of the trim decoration that I had left over from putting the trim on the outside. When I decorate the outside covers, I try to keep some of the same bits and pieces of trims to add throughout the book. This is the other side of that folded map card. I have a piece of, I'm thinking that it's probably loose leaf, but I can't remember. I have this page here called Odd Page, and it opens, it was a little wider than what I wanted in the book, so I just folded it over to make a little flip. This is a piece of a yellow, I think they're called legal tablets, where it's a legal size piece of paper and just lined. This is a book page out of a book. I've folded it down a little bit and glued it just to give it added strength on the page itself, and I've attached a journaling card, just a little card made about the same size as an artist trading card. Little element on the page for decoration. Plain paper in gray. A brown page that I folded a different way so that I could have this little pocket on the side to tuck pieces of ephemera in. This is a postcard from 1967. Yeah, 1967. And it has a canceled Lincoln stamp on here, a 4-cent stamp, to someone in Connecticut. And down here again, a piece of the fabric that I used on the book, and this opens up to have a secret writing space, just a plain little spot there. A little page element that's just an ink stamped image, and I just made a little crown out of some of the leftover fabric. Plain book pages. Now here's where the signature is tied in the center of the first one, and I have these two dangles. That's what's dangling down at the bottom here. So I have two dangles. In my class, I will be teaching how to make these dangles as well. Blank page. This is the other side of the brown page. Now we're getting into the other half of the book, or the other half of the signature, where you will see the same papers, but just possibly decorated differently. This one also has a flap that turns up for a hidden writing space. I haven't added an element on here for decoration at this point, but I do have a journaling card here made from a book page image, and I just put some writing paper on the back. This is a folded page with a little cluster here to open it up, sort of like a little tab. This next page here is the other half of that book page that I had shown you. Again, I've folded over the edge of the paper because this was very, very old pages. And I folded over the edge so that it just protects it a little bit more, and the paper won't crack. I have a paper clip here with some fibers attached to it, and that's just to give you a marking place in the book. And this is just a little journaling card. You open it up, and it's coffee stained paper that folds out into a huge piece of paper, but then folds back up again into a book shape. Fun to make these. On this side, I have some coffee stained paper and another little page element. This book is very simple because it's a starting point for someone who wants to get started making journals. So there aren't a lot of decorations at this point. As we advance through our class, I will teach more. Another piece of that end paper, or it might, I think this one was odd paper. Some more loose leaf, another blank page with a tab at the top this time. The tabs are just made from some of our leftover papers, and I, again, will teach that in class. This is the other half of that ledger paper. This is now the other half of the atlas page, and I just have a little plain journaling card in here for you to write on. Everything's attached with paper clips. This is what's holding this page closed. I don't have it sealed right now. I haven't decided whether or not I want to seal it. I might just leave it for now. In here is a little handmade policy envelope, and this is made with brown paper bag. So this will be something again that I will teach in class. Another journaling card here, writing space on the back. This is on a certificate paper, and when you open it up on this side, I've folded part of the certificate paper up and glued the edge. And I just have another journaling card tucked in here with a coffee stained envelope. In the class, I'll be teaching coffee staining as well. The rest of that ledger paper. And this is now an even page. So there's one that says odd and one that says even. This was a page of book page, and it was very flimsy because I had put the paper tuck, which is right here. And I found it was too heavy for the page, so I went back and decorated it with some vintage wrapping paper that I had. And so on this side now I have a tuck spot that is holds up really nicely because I've got the added weight on the paper. But it's made with a collage of different things. And then I just have a folded piece of note paper here to write on. So when I teach my journal classes or when I make journals myself, I try to make journals that are functional and that have a lot of space to write, because a journal for me is something to keep things in chronological order, a diary of sorts. You know, maybe it's for an event, or maybe it's for travel purposes, but I like to use my journals. And when I add in papers that have writing on them and things like this on them, I either use them to attach other elements in the book, like tags and note cards. So you still have something decorative, but it's functional that it's holding a piece of paper. Or I will decorate in lighter colors, again, to be able to use it as a writing space, like more natural colors. And the other thing is, if you want to glue a picture or a receipt, or, you know, you have a ticket from taking the ferry from London to France, then you could add those in. I don't know if you can go from London to France. I'm just guessing. I haven't done that yet. But yeah, it's just something that you could add into your book as well. This is one of my little book page envelope flaps that open up, and the top flap is made with a playing card. But I've also only glued it on the two sides, so it or three sides at the back, so it makes a great spot as a pocket. And I have a journaling card to write on. 90% of the stuff that I'm using in here is recycled materials or books that were destined to the landfill. I try whenever possible to repurpose those types of items. Most of the fabrics and the fibers are recycled from either the thrift shop or from other projects or used materials. Another book page where you can add a picture. This is a tea-dyed piece of paper. I'll be teaching that as well in class. Another paper that had some interesting numbers on it, so it wasn't really anything that was good anymore. It came from a catalog, I think, but I added a journal card to write on the back side. And this is again where I would clip photos or journal cards so that you still see the paper, so you still have the interest in that there is something unusual behind it, but it is more functional that you're using it to host pictures or journal cards. Nothing on the back at this point. Here's a piece of music that folds out. This gives the opportunity to have some hidden space underneath here. Paper could be added in to write on or tucked in with the paper clip. I've just added a very small journaling card here. So it's just a space to write on. The other side of that loose leaf page, the other side of that, now we've reached the center of the second signature here. So again, 2 more sets of dangles that are dangling from the cord that I stitched the signature into. Just pretty dangles. They extend beyond the page so that they don't interfere with the opening and closing of the book. This page in the center here has another little tab to open up to some hidden space for writing. All of these can be further enhanced with other elements and writing space. Now this one says odd page, which again I found very interesting when I found the paper. It was just a notepad with odd and even. I think somebody gave me a pad. I think they found several or something. I can't remember. Somebody might have given it to me. And this is another piece of that loose leaf. This is the end of the music sheet in the book. Again, a great spot to add things onto or further embellish. Or you could add another piece of paper and fold it over to extend writing space. That numbers page again shows up in here, and I just have a folded note card that I have redecorated and can use it as a writing space. Got this paper clip stuck in my finger here. There we go. Another journaling card, blank on the back. Same with this one. I have another little card here attached with a paper clip with a ribbon and a piece of coffee dyed paper as well to write a note into. Just blank paper, always great for lots of opportunity, and another piece of ledger paper. This is the other side of that certificate and the end of the second signature. And so it also has a tuck spot, and I've got a little journaling note card in here too. The third signature starts out with another map with another pocket, so lots of possibility there. I have a paper clip. This is a decorated paper clip, and so anything can tuck into it as well. On this side of it, I have a postcard, just a blank postcard that was in my stash. In the class, I'll be giving lots of this stuff in as part of the class supplies. Another book page, another blank page, another one of those folded brown papers where I've made a secret writing spot underneath here. This will further be embellished. It's got a tuck spot where I've added just a little floral card as well as another journaling card. More music sheet. This opens up and is a folded note card that I've put inside the book, and it's wrapped around a music sheet that opens up. Again, possibilities for adding pictures, note paper, journaling cards, etc. More space for that. Another certificate. This one also has a pocket in here and a little note card to write on. This is the other side of the tea, or another piece of tea dyed paper, I guess. Yeah, another piece. And this has a little tag to write on. Another fiber paper clip so that you can have a marker in your book. And on this side, another journaling card as well. It's a nice, fun way to have hidden spots for writing things. This is again the third signature and the center of the book, the signature. So I've added 2 more dangles on here. This is a little scrappy notepad. I put a picture of a dancing lady in teal blue in here, but it's got a little scrap that if you want to write a phone number on, you could write a phone number on there, a little bit bigger. The scraps are all staggered and made from recycled material. This is from a drawer lining paper, a piece of a brown paper bag, a piece of scrapbook paper, and so on. On this side is the other side of that certificate paper, and I've tucked in a little journaling card. This was made with a variety of papers and some fabric and fibers, and I just stitched all around it and decorated. Another book page. Now this one's a fun one. This is another one of my envelope pockets, except this little piece up here holds it in place. There's a little tuck here that holds the envelope closed. So I'm going to lift that up, and you open it up and you have a notebook. And the notebook is again made with leftover scrappy bits. And everything is recycled and repurposed. On the top of it, I have a little piece of the fabric and some of the scraps left over from making the journal. There's a ticket as a tab to close this, and I just add that back down there like that, and that keeps everything in place. And I've only glued this pocket down on 3 sides so that you can have another tuck spot in here where I have a journaling card. There's so much more to add into this book, but again, I'm waiting for when I'm teaching a class. I don't want to overwhelm them with everything until we're actually ready to be at that stage. Some more recycled papers, recycled music sheet. This one was feeling a little bit thin, and so just to make sure it was in better shape, I folded the edge over and glued it down to just give a little bit added strength on the end of the page. Another one of those brown paper pieces I just clipped a little paper bag to here. This paper bag is a purchased bag. It's not something I've made, but this is something that can be made in class very easily and in a variety of different papers. So this page also has that same tuck spot and hidden journaling spot. Again, I've left some things empty because we're going to be adding things as we go along in the book. And another folded card from making the atlas pages. This is kind of the top of the page that was left over, so I used it as a fold to put over this paper. This paper opens up, and there's the other half of that map card, and lots of hidden journaling space in there as well. Another paper clip that's made decoratively. I'll just take it off here for you to see. And it is a paper clip that's hidden inside all of this paper, and this paper has a little pocket here where I have a little ticket that comes out with music sheet, and so you can write on that as well. And it's all hidden inside, or tucked in inside. I have an index card here, and this is kind of one of the dividers of an index card set. On the back side is just book page, and I took the paper clip off. That's why this is hanging there. This is a postcard. This postcard was nothing exciting, so I just collaged over top of it with a flower and a bird and a few little things that were on my table, and just made it look like a vintage piece, stitched around the edge. Another tuck spot here that's attached to the page, and this just holds a photo that I had in my stash. Again, fabric decoration and a little piece of music sheet. So all the little bits and pieces get used up when I make my books. This is the back side of the book page, which will host a picture sometime. This is the other half of the map of this signature of this set of pages. So that's the other half. I have a decorated paper clip again, decorated with fibers, and I've just tucked in another journaling card. And this was the same thing, an assortment of images on the page, collaged, and then adding fibers and fabric pieces to make my journaling card. And that's the end of my book. The inside back cover also is decorated with collage. This page was just a fun page of using my stamps and stamping out different images over top of each other to create a tissue overlay, and then the tissue overlay was applied to the book on the back as well as on the front, although you can't really see it because of the pocket. And this is just the edge of the fabric glued down. So that's my journal. It's, I didn't do a great flip through here. I don't really have a story to tell with this one at this point because it's brand new. It's not finished the way I would call it finished. When I make a journal, I have a tendency to write the end in the journal when I'm finished decorating it, and I don't feel that I'm at the point where I can say it's the end yet. And this journal will not be for sale for a while. It's going to be for my class, for using as a teaching sample. And I'm hoping that I will continue to fill it, and then either it'll eventually be for sale or I will continue to use it as a sample for classes. I'm not sure at this point. But that's my flip through. I just thought I would share it with you. I don't do anything fancy with these flip throughs. Still new to doing these types of videos. But I just thought I would share with you what I was doing, and this will be listed. I probably won't post this publicly at this point. I'll just list it in YouTube. If you are in the Sussex, New Brunswick area and you are familiar with Dairytown Market, this will be posted there, as well as all the information about the class and the classes, because there's going to be a daytime one and an evening, depending on what's available and when you're available if you want to take the class. The classes will be limited to 6 people for each class. I want it to be very intimate so that I have time to spend with everybody to work on their journals. The initial class will last about 6 weeks, where you will build your cover from scraps and from scratch. And you will decorate the cover. You will put all the pages together to go in your book. The book will then get stitched. You'll do some basic ephemera and some basic embellishments. I will then have a part 2 class, a series where you can learn more embellishments, learn more methods of putting journals together, and continue on from there. All the information about pricing and the class dates itself will be listed on the Facebook page of Dairytown Market. I will put a link in the description below for the market, and hopefully by the time this airs, all that information will be there for the class. Thank you very much for watching my video, and I look forward to seeing all of you again, and I look forward to having some of you take the class with me. Thanks again. Have a good day. Bye for now.